Okay, now the bit I guess you've been waiting for. It's the base of her. So the base is rather dynamic already. I didn't really need to do that much to it. However, I felt like just a plain magenta base wouldn't really cut it. So I wanted to apply crackle medium to the base. For this I used Mordant Earth by Games Workshop because it's already pre-blacked. However, when using this, there's a little trick you can do to create more of a convincing broken, cracked appearance. Add PVA glue first. Add that as a base layer to any area that you'll be applying the Mordant Earth to later on. That way, when it dries, it'll separate out even farther and it'll create a much nicer looking cracked base appearance. Add a liberal layer of Mordant Earth directly on top of the PVA glue. Do it when it's still wet. Don't be shy about this whatsoever, and please use an older brush for this procedure. I have tried to use a hairdryer in the past to speed up the process. Unfortunately, it doesn't dry quite right or how I'd like it to, so allow it to completely air dry. It takes around 4 hours to do. Okay, my new favourite toy, Hera Fluorescent Pigments. In this case I'm using dark red as the base. And the first thing I'll do is apply airbrush fluid. So this is the stuff you dump into your airbrush to help thin the pigments down. In this case I'm using Life Color Thinner by, Life Color. And this is acrylic thinner. And I've applied that as a pathfinder for the fluorescent pigment to sink its way into. Adding a bit more to the base. Again, don't use your good brushes for this, because they'll get all clogged up. Use older brushes that come into the end of their life expectancy. I can even mix a bit of the pigment directly in there. It doesn't exactly thin down. Instead, the pigment clumps together, but does make it easier to apply to the surface of the miniature. In this case, I'm aiming to... I know you can't see it. Sorry for the... there you go. You can see it now. Just in time to go out of focus again. It will settle in all the gaps and recesses. If you just use water, it dries in an uneven pattern. By using alcohol or by using thinning agent, which is my preferred method, the pigment sits in all the gaps and recesses. It sits where you want it to make it seem like the rocks are glowing and breaking apart, and reality underneath her is just fracturing completely. Again, I'm quite inexperienced at using this. I think this is the 3rd time I've used fluorescent pigment, but I'm head over heels in love with it. Some of the effects you're able to produce with it are just mind-bending. I'm looking to do a flame tutorial, something maybe like a Legion of the Damned Marine, something of that ilk, using fluorescent pigments to really show off what they can do. Maybe even another Sanguinius. Who knows? Why wouldn't I paint another Sanguinius? And this stuff, it doesn't only have to be used on basing. Imagine this stuff on plasma glow effects. Imagine this stuff maybe in eyes to draw attention to them. That's something I wish I did with Ephrael Stern, is using the blue fluorescent paint and working that into her eye to really draw attention to it. Now, as you can see, I'm overlapping the fluorescent pigment with the thing agent. It also acts as a binding agent as well. So afterwards, once it's fully dried, it doesn't move. It doesn't come away at all. Well, so far as I've tried. I haven't really tried and rub my thumb against this stuff. I haven't really tried to remove it. But from casual wear and tear, it isn't removed. And that is the video tutorial. I'd like to thank my top patrons. And here's the showcase of Ephrael Stern. So you can see once the pigment's fully and utterly dried just how eye-popping it is, how eye-popping it becomes. The fluorescent pigment, in contrast to the rest of the miniature, the muted tones, really stands out. I'll leave you with this spinning version of Ephrael stern. Thank you very much for joining me for this video tutorial. If you have any questions, concerns, problems, if you try anything out, I'd love to see it. Thank you very much, guys, and catch you in the next vid.